crazy. I want you to have some fun with me. I want you to party with me. Let's have some fun. Let's go. We gotta love our world. All of the boys and the girls. We gotta save the water. All we need is our love. I know that it's love. I know that it's love. We can make this happen with me and you. I know that we can do better. All about coming together. Hands in the air, you're doing your part. 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 All this song, I clap my hands real hard. I know I'm doing my part. I know I'm doing my part. And when I hear this song, I put my hands up in the air. I know I'm doing my share. I know I'm doing my share. Doing your part. We all depend on each other. True. Stronger when we are together. True. One person that you can count on me. One person that I can count on you. We all make one little change. We can go further in range. One person can make a difference. Saving the world is the mission. And you can be heroes today. Saving the planet from waste. We just reuse and recycle. That put a smile on my face. We can make this happen with me. Yeah.
I got move.
Better, all about coming together. Hands in the air, you're doing your part. 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 All this song, I clap my hands real hard. I know I'm doing my part. I know I'm doing my part. And when I hear this song, I put my hands up in the air. I know I'm doing my share. I know I'm doing my share. Doing your all this song, I clap my hands real hard. I know I'm doing my part.
Okay.
I know I'm doing my part. And when I hear this song, I put my hands up in the air. I know I'm doing my share. I know I'm doing my share.
Okay. I see that move right there.
Yo, you seeing me?
I see the moves. That might save the planet by itself.
If only we could dance to a better world. Well, I guess we can. Hey, Warren.
How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Man, I'm doing amazing this morning.
Awesome. Loving it. Okay. Well, we're going to wait for one more minute before we get this started. Welcome, friends. This is the Everything Electric, day 7 of our 10-day Earth Week of Action. So I'm seeing tons of people in the comments. This is great. California. We've got Iowa. Woo!
What's going on?
Keep bringing it.
And guess what? 7 is a lucky number. So,
7 is really.
Yeah. So this may be like the best day ever.
I mean, it already is the best day ever because I get to hang out with you.
Let's go.
All right. Welcome, folks. We've got a great event planned for you today. Everything Electric is all about just having some casual fun and chats with folks who are driving electric vehicles. And, you know, I want to say that when I talk to a lot of people about electric vehicles. My name is Steph Larson. I use she, her pronouns. I live in Northern New York, and I am the senior online organizer for clean transportation at the CR Club. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
Well, I'm Warren Dixon. I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm the co-owner of Third Rock Hip Hop. And, hey, I'm loving this EV, this lifestyle. I'm trying to get more into it and more just like it's solid with it. So I'm here to learn and talk about it at the same time.
We've got some fun coming up today. So I talk about electric vehicles all the time. And oftentimes people will just tell me, like, you know, they think that an electric vehicle has to be a $100,000 Tesla. And since they can't afford that, can't see themselves in that, then they don't think electric vehicles have anything to do with them. And what we're going to talk about today is electric vehicles that are accessible to way more people. You don't have to spend $100,000 in order to get behind an electric vehicle. So today we're going to focus on bikes, on buses. We're going to talk to a scooter and a moped driver and somebody who's driving electric in a rideshare program. So without further ado, let's get started. And our first speaker is Mary. Welcome, Mary.
Hi. Great.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Awesome. Do you want to tell us who you are and where you're coming from?
Sure. I'm Mary Pistievsky. I use she, her pronouns. I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, but I just moved here from Austin, Texas.
Awesome. And what kind of electric vehicle do you drive?
So I have 2 electric cargo bikes that I use every day to go everywhere, do everything, carry 3 kids around, and I love it.
Awesome. How did you end up riding electric bikes or into this? You have 2. That's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I only started with 1, but I was living in Austin, Texas, and as many of you know, it's hot. And I wanted to be able to take my kid to preschool, and I was just like, I can't pedal I can't pedal when it's 100 degrees out. I can't do this. I'm not very in shape. I'm not a very athletic person to start with. So I heard about this, this idea of an electric cargo bike, specifically one that's built for carrying kids. And, I test rode it and I said, oh, wow, this is awesome. And I was hooked. So, we bought that in 2015 and pretty much have been riding almost every day ever since.
Okay. Is this something that you see other families doing around in your same community?
Yeah, actually, that's a great question. We have definitely seen a lot of growth. When I lived in Austin, lots more people were starting to catch, they wanted to try mine out. I let them try it. And then, here in Madison, it's actually very popular. And there's actually a cargo bike shop that's all they sell are these types of vehicles for families to carry their children, or people who don't have kids can, carry their groceries or, just heavy things that you wouldn't be able to carry with a regular bike.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Mary, what I really, when you and I were talking earlier about bikes, because I love the idea of an electric bike. I can't tell you how many times when I lived in a city, I was in a suit and had to change my clothes, maybe take a shower.
Totally.
I wish that this had been happening when I was living in a city. I live in the middle of nowhere now.
Yeah, exactly. You can get somewhere without showing up all sweaty and I don't wear, special gear. I wear my regular clothes every day. I never, I don't have spandex or anything like that. It's very much just to make it so much more accessible to, a broader range of people.
Yeah, so cool.
And one of the things I really liked when you and I were talking is I loved how when you and I first met, Mary, you were just like, this had nothing to do with the environment. It's faster, It's cheaper, it's fun. There's no parking. Tell me about the faster part. How is it possible
faster?
Going faster than driving?
Yeah, so certainly in Austin, Texas, the traffic there is pretty terrible. And so I would just be zooming past the people who are all backed up at the light, and I just bye, which feels pretty good actually. So really it's just, once I got to my destination, I didn't have to worry about parking. I didn't have to circle the block 15 times trying to find a spot. So it's not just the actual getting there, but then parking your vehicle once you get there. So it just saves time and it's fun and the kids love it and they actually complain when we have to take the car. So
it's fun.
You make me want one because the parking here is horrible.
Yeah,
So
parking.
I've actually got some pictures of you that I want to share with folks. So viewers, bear with me as I
can carry a lot of things.
do this.
Yeah, it's
My
still
computer is
loading.
not being
As it's loading, hopefully it'll show. There you go. So the first one is we carried a Christmas tree. That was the first year we did it. And on the right, you can see I had a different cargo bike that carried 2 small children. So that baby was 3 months old. So yeah. And then as they got older, you can see some other options and configurations. And in the one on the right, we actually got a different cargo bike and sold the orange one. But Yeah, there's so many different options now. When we first started, there were just not as many options available. And now you'll see them a lot more in a lot more stores and a lot more bike shops.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, yeah. Grocery runs. This is a full week's worth of groceries. In the one on the right, you can see there is a child in there too, sort of squeezed in, but you can really carry quite a lot. This is groceries for a family of 5. So.
That's so funny. I didn't even notice the fact that there was a kid in the one.
They're kind of hiding in there, but
still trying to see it. I'm still trying to find the kid.
Oh, the little smiley face, yeah.
That little face, Warren.
Yeah, I don't post pictures of my kids, but yeah, you can see.
The face is covered up. Okay.
There's a kid there. Yeah.
There's a kid behind that face. Gotcha.
For sure. Yeah. And then the last picture I think is really funny. So we had a car. We do have a car, but the car battery died, and we were like, well, we need a new one, so we just strapped it to the back of the cargo bike and took it to to get a replacement, because I don't know if you've ever picked one up, but they're actually really heavy. So just a tip, if you don't use your car a lot, you do need to start it once in a while. So.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Anything else that you want to share with folks about what you love about your bikes?
I would just say, just try it out. Honestly, it's one of those things, like, people try it one time and they're like, wow, and they just love it. So, I know a lot, actually, Warren, I know somebody in LA who got one and is like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I don't have to be in traffic anymore. And so, it really is for a lot of different people in a lot of different areas.
Now, what about the fact that I don't know how to change a bike tire?
I don't either.
I feel like
like
less often than changing a car tire.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I know conceptually how to, but the particular bike I have, the tires are much sort of beefier and thicker than regular tires. They're less likely to have problems. And I also use the Better World Club. They have a bicycle sort of AAA for bikes, basically, where they'll come and pick up your bike and take it to a shop for you. So that is an option for people to sign up for.
Awesome. Well, Mary, thank you so much for being here. And absolutely. Folks, if in the comments, if you have questions for Mary, do drop them in. If we have time at the end, we might take a look at that. And as we are switching, so thanks, Mary. I'm going to take you out of here. So y'all might notice the ticker on the bottom below me. We have an action that we just started today. It's an action alert to President Biden, making sure that he knows that we want to go back to stronger car standards and electrifying everything. So when you get a chance, as you're listening, please go to sc.org/everythingelectric and take that action. And now Warren and I are going to do some trivia.
Okay.
So as we do this, so for folks who are doing this on Facebook, there is hopefully going to be a poll popping up. So the first question, so P.S. Next we're going to be talking to Larry, the bike shop owner, but we're going to do some trivia questions first. So first question, Warren, how many electric bikes do you think were sold in the US in 2020? Was it A, 6,000, B, 60,000, C, 600,000, or D, 6 million?
Okay, you're putting the pressure on me right now.
I know.
It's getting hot in here, I think. But
you can do it. I believe in you.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say US. I may say 600,000.
Okay. Let's give folks a second. So there is a poll. Nice job, my colleague Larissa, who's helping us with the tech on the back end here. So you can click the poll if you want to.
Come on.
So please. Warren says 600,000.
Yes, make me look good.
And the answer is 3, 2, 1. You're right. It was 600,000, about 600,000 electric bikes in 2020.
Yes.
Awesome. Good job. You win the prize for the first question. Second question.
Okay.
In what year was the first car powered by an electric motor? Okay, so cars. When were cars invented? That's the first question one has to ask oneself. But secondly, then, was it 1827, 1897, 1907, or 1947? First year, or what year was the first car powered by an electric motor? We'll give people a second to answer in the poll.
I have something right here that I think makes sense. I'd like to come up with my answer.
Yeah, tell me.
Doesn't mean I'm going to be right, but I'm going to say maybe it's 1897.
1897?
I'm going to go with 18.
I'm seeing a few people, 1897, 1947, 1907. It was actually...
Like early on would be like when they would try that.
Yeah, so it was early. What I understand, at least, it was 1827 when the first car was powered by an electric motor. And in fact, did you know that Henry Ford, when he started like doing cars, he actually wanted cars to be electric. Like he built his first cars with electric motors. So that's pretty cool. All right. Third question. You ready for this?
Let's go.
What's the most likely thing on an electric car to need replacing? Is it A, the motor, B, the brakes, C, the windshield, or D, the tires? And folks on Facebook can enter in your answers. Is it A, the motor, B, the brakes, C, the windshield, or D, the tires?
Well, I'm going to go with, just based off of, certain people I know that are using electric vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with tires.
All right. Let's give people 3, 2, 1. It's tires. Woo! You are on fire, my friend.
Listen, I'm all right.
You're doing great. Well, next speaker we have is my friend Larry. So let's bring him in. Hi, Larry.
Hey, how you doing? Good
Great.
to see you.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Awesome.
Happy to be here.
Do you want to tell us what you do and where you are and introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Larry Gilbert, and I have a business called Zoom Bikes. I've been selling electric bikes for about 10 years now, and I'm in central Vermont, in right outside of Montpelier. Yeah.
Awesome. So I imagine that people come into your shop all the time and ask about electric bikes, and give me a sense of, kind of what the price options are from like the low end and what that's like to the super fancy and the cargo bikes. Like, tell me what
Sure.
that's like, or what that range
Sure.
is.
But before I do that, though, Steph, let me just one little historical context here might be of interest. I've been doing this for 10 years. I started 10 years, which was actually not that. So people say, what is an electric bike? There was just not this common in the United States, anyhow, about e-bikes. This is a very recent phenomenon. And a place. So, are we good still?
I think we missed a couple of things.
Yeah, Larry, we seem to have some trouble. You keep freezing.
I mean, it's a good still shot. It's a good picture.
You're looking good, man.
It's amazing.
But can you hear me?
Yes, why don't you just repeat what you just said, because we couldn't hear you because you froze.
I froze about the history, the part that you didn't hear. So I've been doing this for 10 years. When I started, people would say to me, what is an e-bike? They'd never heard of an e-bike. It was a brand new concept to them. So, it's a short history of e-bikes here in the United States that this thing has taken off like crazy right now, of course. So anyhow, some of the FAQs around e-bikes that I always get are, price. You mentioned price, how much do they cost? And there's a huge range, as you mentioned. You can get a bike kit where you take your own bike and frame and you put on a motor, your own motor and battery, etc. And those kits are usually around $1,500 or so now. They're not really inexpensive, but the good ones you want to pay a little bit. And then they range all the way up. Those cargo bikes that Mary was talking about are $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for those bikes. But $2,500 will get you a pretty decent bike. $3,500 will get you a really nice bike. Yeah. So,
awesome. That's
and they come in every flavor, from folding bikes to tandem bikes to the cargo bikes to street bikes to mountain bikes, any kind of bike. It's been electrified.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you find is the most popular, or what do people wanting the most?
Well, I think that really depends, Steph, on different parts of the country. Here where I am in Vermont, there's a lot of hills, and people are that's the big barrier for people. And my clientele is typically a little bit older, so these are people who have been riding in the past, and now their knees hurt, or they're just not as fit as they used to be, and so they want a little bit of assistance. And so in other parts of the country, just a commuter bike to get, you've got flat, bike lanes and such. You'd pick a different kind of a bike than you might pick for the back roads of Vermont or northern New York where you are. So in LA, Warren, maybe even a folding bike, an electric folding bike would be a cool investment, because you can throw it in a car, or you can, drag it up an elevator or something like that. So, yeah.
Yes.
And how does it work? Like, is there a throttle, or does it help you when you pedal, or how does, like, if I fall off, is it going to keep going and spinning? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so no, there's basically two things that power it. One is a throttle, as you mentioned. So most bikes do have a throttle, not all, but you push the throttle and the bike will go without any kind of pedaling. And then the other thing which makes the e-bike so cool is the pedal assist. So when you start pedaling, the bike senses that you are moving the pedals, and then it adds the power. And so it creates this wonderful sort of synergy between you and the bike. It feels like you're kind of one with the bike. You're riding this horse that is just reacting to you and what you're doing and what you want to do. They have an automatic shutoff. Most e-bikes would have an automatic shutoff. So if you're not pedaling it or not on the bike, it's not gonna be spinning or powering. So and also the brakes. If you ever hit the brakes, there's a shutoff. There's a safety feature. So the motor will kick out if you touch the brakes. Yeah. Okay.
So I've got a question from Facebook. James is asking, what is the average cost of a folding bike?
Ooh, a folding electric bike, anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500, I think, would probably get you a decent bike. Yeah, maybe even a little bit less than that. So.
And are all of these bikes two-wheeled, or are there sometimes three-wheeled bikes?
Yeah, well? there are trikes out there. Well, there's bikes with four wheels even. So, but trikes are becoming increasingly popular. A lot of senior citizens, people in older communities, people who don't have this kind of balance that a bicycle requires, are attracted to the trikes, because they got the stability of the two wheels in the back. And so you'll see those increasingly a lot of sales in Florida and places where there's an older demographic.
So tell me about these pictures you shared with me.
Yeah. Well, so the picture on the right is just a friend of mine. She bought a bike. It's kind of a cruise bike, pretty standard bike, easy on, easy off. And she attached that trailer on it because she has a little dog, and she wanted to take her dog down to the dog park to go for, a romp with all the other dogs. And so she totes her dog around behind her e-bike. And the e-bike is a sort of a custom bike company here in Vermont, make all kinds of really cool bikes, especially bikes for people with, this is another really interesting market, is a lot of people with various disabilities or handicaps who can't ride normal bikes, and so they need special kind of handlebars or seating arrangements. And so that's one of their bikes that I was riding at a festival that we were at. So yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's got a passenger seat up front, which is kind of unusual. So put a lot of weight up front.
It seemed like one of these bikes would be like good for like doing low budget like film production as well, because sometimes you need to hook a camera up, but you don't want to always walk with it because of the stability, So if you had a bike like this, the camera.
Yeah. You can use an e-bike for just about anything, Warren. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, here in Vermont, there's a company that sells bikes for hunting, so you can take a bike out into the woods and with a trailer on it to pull your deer out of the woods. And I was in Copenhagen a couple of years ago, and the variety of bikes is stunning over there. Just the people are using e-bikes for every conceivable purpose you can imagine. And so it's really a fun thing to watch. Yeah.
Well, Larry, thank you so much. Any last thoughts you want to give for folks?
No, I mean, I just echo what Mary said. Get on one and try it, and then you can listen to us talk about it all day long. But until you actually feel what that's like, you just don't get it. But when you do, you go, "Oh my gosh, this is really cool."
Well, thank you so much, Larry.
Hair advice?
Say that again.
Do you have any hair advice?
Hair advice.
Yeah. I mean, your hair, man. Hopefully mine looks like that when I get, older.
There we go. Looking good today.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Larry.
You're welcome.
All right, Warren, before our next speaker, I want you to tell us a little bit about Third Rock hip hop and a little bit about who Third Rock is before we see a TikTok video featuring Third Rock.
All right. So Third Rock Hip Hop, we're a company that we teach the youth environmental education using hip hop and hip hop based entertainment, and we understand like that's kind of like the most influential genre. So we wanted to use that to kind of bridge a gap between communities. So with that, we have our characters, and we also have an electric vehicle character as well named E-Rock. But our main character that takes trips all around the world learning how he and his sister can help is Third Rock. So Third Rock, he likes to dance, he likes to have fun, so he started a TikTok page. And that's what we're getting ready to enjoy now.
Awesome. Okay, let's take a look at Mr. TikTok, or at the TikTok.
Eco-friendly that, eco-friendly this, eco through the mess. Yeah, I'm pulling up on the scene, keep the environment clean. Yeah, I'm pulling up in a Tesla, y'all know that I'm doing extra. Yeah, eco swag, so I'm special. I clap my hands real hard, I know I'm doing my part, I know I'm doing my part. And when I hear this song, I put my hands up in the air, I know I'm doing my share, I know I'm doing my share.
Levitate, pop stars, do a leap with the baby. I had to lace my shoes for all the blessings I was chasing. If I ever slip, I fall into.
She's a runner, she's a track star. She gon' run away when it gets hard. She can't take the pain, she can't get scarred. She hurt anyone that gets involved. Don't wanna commit, but take it this far. She gon' do the race, just not this one. Love is a game you used to chip.
Another one, huh? Packing the mail, it's gone. Shit like I smell cologne. Yeah, I just signed a deal, I'm on. Yeah. I go where I want, good. Play if you want, let's do it. I'm a young CEO, sure. Yeah.
He's famous.
What's that?
He thinks he's famous. Like
He is famous.
He doesn't even talk to me anymore.
Friends.
That's how friends go.
Man.
So yeah, that's Third Rock. If you guys want to, if you're on TikTok, follow him. It gets better.
And I think there, boom.
There we go.
Tell us about how to follow Third Rock Hip Hop.
So yeah, you can follow, like I said, Third Rock himself on TikTok, and that's Third Rock Hip Hop _official. You can go to the website, thirdrockhip-hop.com, and you can keep up with pretty much everything that we're doing, and you can see how to contact us there. You can go to Instagram at Third Rock Hip Hop, and you can keep up with some of the things that we're doing in the community right away through Instagram.
Awesome.
We can't wait to see you over there.
Well, thank you for sharing your music with us. I'm super stoked about it. So next we're going to talk to Courtney. Courtney, do you want to introduce yourself and tell us where you're coming from?
Hi, I'm Courtney McCrae Alston, and I live in Washington State, but I'm actually calling from lovely Massachusetts right now. So
nice. Tell me a little bit about your relationship to electric vehicles.
Sure. So I drive a Chevy Bolt, and that's an all-electric vehicle, and I use it. I actually bought it because I do rideshare. So I drove an internal combustion engine vehicle, and I was spending so much money on gas. I was spending about $300 to $350 a week on gas and on maintenance, because I was driving about 300 to 400 miles a day. And one day I was just like, this is crazy. I can't keep doing this. And I started looking around, and I don't know why I did not know about electric vehicles, but I started doing some research, and suddenly I found electric vehicles with the help of a local nonprofit. And it's been great. I've driven an electric vehicle now for over 2 years. This will be my 3rd year driving an electric vehicle, and I love it. It's wonderful. And it's true that I have over 100,000 miles on my car, which had 14,000 miles on it when I bought it. And in that time, I've taken it to the shop zero times. That's how many times it's needed any kind of work. And I've replaced the tires. That's it. No brakes, no oil changes, no water pumps, no transmissions, nothing. Wow. Tires in 100,000 miles. It's amazing.
I think about how often I live in a super small town. And I think about how often I am like, oh shoot, I need an oil change. Crap.
Yeah, it's great. And I live near Portland, Oregon. So I live, like, when people think of Washington State, of course, they think of Seattle, but I live near Portland, Oregon. And it's just like in Seattle, it's very hilly. It's, and it's great having an electric vehicle where when you're in traffic or you are someplace where it's hilly, you can get energy going downhill. You can get energy when you're in traffic. So it's really convenient, especially as a rideshare driver. And I also do Amazon and I do Instacart. So it's great. Like, my friends who drive combustion engine, they had to stop driving when the pandemic hit because they couldn't make money. But I didn't have to make money because I drive an electric vehicle, and it cost me almost nothing.
Wow.
How much does it cost to charge?
Oh, yeah, charging. So, like I said, I live in the Portland, Oregon area. And so the gas and electric company here has a program, and it is a subscription program. For $25 a month, I get unlimited fast charging. So I went from spending like $1,400 a month to spending like $35 a month, just because sometimes I want to, check out other chargers, and I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna spend $5 on this charger, but $25 a month, unlimited fast charging. It's crazy.
I feel like I'm missing out.
Yeah, you are. You are missing out. It's pretty awesome.
Me,
Go buy an electric car.
I'm on my
wow.
way.
Sorry, Warren.
No. I said I'm already on my way there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I was interested in kind of what, I was hearing about you as well. Like, I know that part of it for you was convenience. And then the world is reaping the benefit of you having convenience.
Right. I mean, it's kind of crazy because I felt guilty, like, oh, I wasn't thinking about saving the planet, right? And yet driving the electric car has all these great benefits. And, and I did learn that electric cars aren't for everybody yet, because some people have to drive really far, or some people aren't near a charging station, so they can't charge. But for most people who are, commuting, or who, aren't driving like hundreds and hundreds of miles, right? Then, I mean, my car charges when I'm asleep. I plug it in, people are like, oh, isn't it inconvenient? I mean, you do have to charge your car, but I don't know too many people who have a gas station at their house and they can just go to sleep and someone's filling their car up while they're sleeping. I don't know people. I mean, I'm sure there are rich people like that, but I don't know them.
I mean, we all have to plug in our phones every night too, right?
There's adjustments that need to be made, but it's not,
Well, and some places have charger, like Google Maps now will tell you where fast chargers are if you're out and about and you want to stop by there. There's like better parking in lots of places. Like, it makes a lot of sense. But I love the fact that you, your story about how COVID has impacted rideshare driving and how, like you were able to keep going and doing it when lots of other people had to drop out, is just fascinating to me.
Yeah. And the charging infrastructure is getting better every day. Like, there's a charger at our local, at the mall and where the movie theater is. And so whenever we're going, my husband drives a hybrid. And when we're going to the mall to see the movies, I'm like, nope, we got to take my car. There's a charger. We can park close to the front and I can charge my car. So it's really getting better. It's definitely, I know people have driven electric cars a long time and I think they're heroes because it was pretty hard, 8 years ago. It's only been 3 years for me. And even I can see what a huge jump there's been in the number of chargers and the ability, the infrastructure is getting so much better and it's great.
Awesome. Anything else you want to leave people with before we move on? Anything else you want to say, Courtney?
I just want to say that I love driving an electric car. It's a lot of fun for those who haven't driven it. Electric cars go 0 to 60 really fast. I'm not encouraging you to go out there and street race, but you would beat pretty much anything else. I'm just saying. But it's fun to drive too. So I hope people consider it. It's a great option.
And as more and more people have trade up, there are more used electric cars on the market all the time. So yeah, definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Courtney. So next, Warren, I'm super excited about this next video, but we're not going to be able to talk during it because of how StreamYard works. But my next guest is actually driving a school bus right now. So he couldn't be here. But I'll let him tell you what it's like to drive an electric school bus. But he's driving the kids right now. So let's see what he has to say.
Hi, Steph. I'm Marv Lewis with Gaylord Community Schools, located in Northern Michigan. I'm our lead driver. For those of you that aren't familiar with where that may be, we all carry a map with us all the time here in Michigan, all of us Michiganders. And Gaylord is located way up here. So we're way at the top. I've been a school bus driver for 27 years, and I wear a number of hats here within our district, but I was fortunate enough about 1.5 years ago to be selected to drive our electric bus, which is a pretty cool thing. I drive a Lion C, which C stands for conventional. So it looks like a lot of the other buses that we see. It's not a flat nose. It's not a commuter type bus. It's a conventional school bus. It just happens to be electric. Couple of the cool things about that, obviously, the carbon footprint is virtually nothing. We also have zero noise pollution. They just don't make much noise at all. They're fun to drive. The kids enjoy it. I do get a lot of questions about the bus, but it has some really cool safety features as well. One of the safety features is when the bus is put into gear, it takes off extremely slower, much slower than a normal conventional diesel bus would. In a normal bus, when you put it in gear and you release the brake, you can go just like a car. Like as soon as you hit that accelerator, they go. With an electric bus, with my electric bus, the Lion C, the acceleration is a very, very gradual, very slow rate. So that's a safety factor that's built in. But one of the coolest safety factors, and we did shoot a small video for everybody to see, is the tone for which it emits. It's a very unique tone, kind of a fun tone, but that tone alerts people that, number one, the bus is coming, whether it be to a stop where children are located or a stop sign. So that's at all of our corners, whether you're in town, wherever you're at, they got to know we're coming, because you really can't hear these electric buses. So it will do that usually between 1 and 18 miles per hour. So whether you're coming to a stop or taking off, they can hear that. So we did shoot a small clip for you, and it's right here.
Actually, we're going to do that in a minute. Tell me a little bit more about, some of the questions people often have about electric vehicles are like, what's the battery range? Do you have to charge it in the middle of the day? That kind of thing.
Well, that is a common question. And obviously we all carry portable devices, all of our phones, our iPads, all those types of things. The range on this particular bus, it is, like I said, this particular model came out about 1.5 years ago. So it has a range of about 125 miles under ideal conditions.
Okay.
This bus will, without issue, run its morning and night route without being plugged in during the day. So it basically is just plugged back in the evening. That's really all that it requires. But right now, about 125 mile range under ideal circumstances.
Okay. And how does it do in the winter? I've heard that electric batteries can, lose performance in the winter. How does it do in the winter?
Sure. Well, here where we're at in Gaylord, we're in the extreme northern part of Michigan, and we're in what's called the snow belt here. That's been one of the most pleasant surprises with this bus. Initially, I certainly clearly had doubts how it would handle in our conditions, because we get in excess of 160, 170 inches of snow here on average. It actually handles very well, very, very well. It does extremely well in normal snowpack conditions. And we have not noticed significant loss of range in terms of the charge with cold weather. We have not seen any significant issues. It's been a pleasant surprise for sure in our climate.
What kinds of questions do you get from parents and kids about the bus, and what do you tell them? Certainly,
the range is one of the first questions. And they kind of want to know. They all want to know how fast it'll go. Kids, parents. And the truth is, an electric motor is, you can kind of define it based on the way they're set up to whatever you want them to be. It is more peppy than I think most people would understand. Once you're accelerating, they're very responsive, very responsive. They are fun to drive. This particular model has an air ride in it, so it actually has airbags, and it's a comfortable ride. The kids don't get rattled around in it at all. It's really just a nice vehicle.
What would you say to other bus drivers whose districts might be thinking about transitioning to electric?
Sure. Well, number one, I would love for them to stop by and go out with us anytime. But number one, it's a pleasant surprise. As I've outlined, they're fun to drive, they're efficient. The carbon footprint alone is important to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of us. We really, really like that fact. But I would love the opportunity to take people firsthand and show them, these buses, how they work, why they're a trend, not only a trend of the future, but they're likely to happen. This is the movement, in student transportation. We're seeing it from all over. I think virtually every manufacturer right now is either currently producing or in the process of producing an electric bus for student transportation.
Marv, I really appreciate you being here. So Michiganders and Wisconsinites, you've got your invitation now from Marv. Thank you so much. And we're going to show that safety video to indicate or to show people what it's like to actually hear the bus. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. And now we have another little video of him driving it. So hang on one second.
Wow.
And he sent that, Warren, because we're all kind of cued in to listen for cars as well as see them, and especially when you have little kids around, they may not realize that the bus is moving. And so most electric buses, or maybe all electric buses, have this safety feature that if it's going, Marv told me, between 1 and 18 miles an hour, it makes that little do 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 sound, and then people are aware that it's moving. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like the sound. It was kind of like, I'm an artist, so I heard music and I'm like, I can sing to that.
So
it seemed like it's something that people will start to get used to, that sound.
Right, exactly. And as we move to more electric vehicles, I think all of us are probably going to get used to not listening for engines, but rather for tires and other things like that. I just want to remind folks that this is Sierra Club's 7th day of our 10 days of action for Earth Day. And tomorrow, my colleagues are doing an event called Time to Thrive. It's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time. And Thrive is... the Thrive Agenda is a historic, youth-led, movement-centered opportunity for us all to remake our economy and our society so that it works for all of us. The Thrive Act is a piece of legislation that they're going to be talking about tomorrow. So it'll be on Facebook. So I hope you all can join it then as well. And one more video featuring you, Warren.
Me?
You.
Surprise.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. Do you feel the love? Even though we're not together, I can feel the love. I still feel like we together. Do you feel the love? Even at our social distance, I can feel the love. Yeah, yeah.
Baby, I believe we can make a change. We did it when we had to. Now let's try to maintain.
Now let's try to maintain.
So when we go outside, the sunshine turn to rain.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a drive, I might hop on a train. Yeah. When we get together, we can do amazing things.
Yeah.
It took isolation just so we could change some things.
Yeah.
So now we know we're capable of rearranging things. It's crazy like we're in an episode of Stranger Things. Now we know what's possible. We can take on any obstacle. People laying up in a hospital. We got the earth cooling down like a popsicle. Do our best to take care of our planet and not take it for granted. And we're here to spread a message so people can understand it. I believe.
Just sing from just one small change, and I know that we can make it. We will breathe again. Our hopelessness will disappear when we show this earth we care. And make this promise here will be. Promise me that you believe.
I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe.
Do you believe?
I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe.
'Cause I believe.
I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe.
Okay, yes. All my third rock friends, if you love the planet, I want you to put your hands in the air like this and go crazy. I want you to have some fun with me. I want you to party with me. Let's have some fun. Let's go.
We gotta love
our
world. All of the boys and the girls.
all of the girls.
We gotta save the water. All we need is our love. I know that it's enough. I know that it's enough. I know that it's enough.
We can make this
this happen with me and you. I know that we can do better. All about coming together. Hands in the air, you're doing your part. 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 On this song, I clap my hands real hard. I know I'm doing my part. I know I'm doing my part. And when I hear this song, I put my hands up in the air. I know I'm doing my share. I know I'm doing my share. You doing your part. We all depend on each other. True. Stronger when we are together. True. One person that you can count on me. One person that I can count on you. We all make one little change. We can go further in range. One person can make a difference. Saving the world is the mission. And you can be heroes today. Saving the planet from waste. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. That put a smile on my face. We can make this happen with me and you. I know that we can do better. All about coming together. Hands in the air, you're doing your part. 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 On this song, I clap my hands real hard. I know I'm doing my part. I know I'm doing my part. And when I hear this song, I put my hands up in the air. I know I'm doing my share. I know I'm doing my hands in the air, you're doing your part.
I love it.
I was
And
vibing.
sorry?
I was vibing out over here.
Right? Me too. And I think we have another friend we want to introduce to the crew.
Oh,
Look who came.
Rara is in the building.
Oh, right.
You can hear me now.
Yes.
Start over. Hi. No.
Hi, Rhonda. How are you?
Great, great. This has been wonderful. I'm like learning more and more. I'm ready to switch everything.
So, Rhonda, I got to ask, what's the most fun part about working with Warren?
Oh, my gosh.
Uh-oh.
Honestly, besides him being the greatest prankster, jokester, he keeps you laughing, but he's so focused and he's so into it. He's so like giving and he's so like amazing to be around. We have this thing like, about pouring into each other. And he's just very positive. And so everything is heartfelt. I just love that he gives 100%. But he's crazy at the same time. I'm sorry. He's crazy. He's crazy.
It's like extreme both
in
ways.
In a good way.
And Warren, what's your favorite part about making music with Rhonda?
Oh, don't get it twisted. She's a jokester too. So that's one. But she balances out a lot of like things when it comes to our company. Like we do some of the things, but she brings this balance. She brings like it's always like a loving energy with her. You can feel it now, really. It's like always just loving, and for some reason, light shines on her. Like you see me right now. It's like the heaven is just shining on her right now. You
this
see
is
the
what
light.
I'm talking about, Steph.
You see the light right now. Like I don't know where she is, like a professional studio or something.
Home.
But it's like that when we go out and we do things for the community. Like she brings like this ball of energy and light, and she makes you feel like she always adds this extra hope and just motivation to whatever you're trying to do. So
can I add that he's extremely creative? I forgot. I didn't know you were talking about music. As far as music goes, it's like he writes like 8 songs in one day. And they're all great. He's like, I laid 8 ideas and he just shoots them over. So he's an amazing lyricist. He knows how to, create he knows how to make mundane, boring stuff exciting and interesting. So that always helps for the kids. I learn a lot.
So I've got one more trivia question. If we can pop it into the Facebook Live. So, and Rhonda, you get to help with this one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So in Warren's next music video, what electric vehicle should we be featuring? Should it be a bike, a scooter, a school bus, or a car?
Whoa.
Okay. Okay.
Everybody's got to vote for this because
Y'all
Warren's
make
going to
me
make a
look
video with an electric vehicle.
Make me look good.
Okay.
Pick some.
Yeah, make him look good. He has an ego too.
There's a little one there. I like cool things. I like cool things.
All right.
I have an idea
What are
in
your
my
favorites?
mind that I think would be cool.
Well, share it with the world. You can.
I have an idea.
This vote. That's okay.
Can I get?
Which-
I know what he would
Let's-
want.
Let's hear yours.
All right, Wanda. What do you think he'd want?
I know for a fact. I'm 100%, not even 99.5. It's definitely the scooter. He would want to be filmed on this scooter because if you know him, today's kind of like, they're, hip hopped out, but he wears suits. He loves to dress, and on, a bike would kind of create a little bit of a, would get in the way of it'll wrinkle his clothes. He like the scooter. I'm going for the scooter.
That's my pick.
So please,
love for the scooters right now.
I personally, I want you to, I want to see you in a school bus. We'll like fly you out to Michigan, and you and Marv can make a video of his school bus.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
That's actually really dope.
That's actually dope. That's a good one, Steph.
Are you sure you're not on the team?
I'm always on your team, Warren. Always.
Steph, I think Steph is on our team.
I like that idea. Okay, I'm gonna change mine. The bus.
Right.
I'm like, that's dope.
All right, friends. Well, thank you, Rhonda, for stopping by.
I'll be listening in the back.
Awesome. And our last speaker is one of my favorite people to work with. Will Anderson. Why don't you introduce yourself? You're still muted.
Hey, everyone. I'm Will Anderson. I'm on the federal policy team based in Washington, D.C. for Sierra Club, but I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. So I spend a lot of time there, and I represent that town pretty hard.
Okay. Awesome. So tell me what electric vehicles you ride.
Well, in my day-to-day life, I'm an overall electric vehicle advocate. I support all kinds of electric vehicles. I think that there's a lot of ways that we can get to 100% clean transportation, whether that's through light-duty, medium-duty, heavy-duty vehicles, the cars and trucks that you see on the road. But in terms of getting around to a city like DC or even a city like Atlanta, I found that an electric scooter or an electric moped really complements the great transportation infrastructure that we have in these cities, whether they're bike lanes for the scooters and the mopeds, or with the scooter, it's nice and compact. You can see some photos of the scooter that I ride around on. It's this one called a Jetson Breeze, and it takes me all around DC. You can also see it sitting there on the waiting for a train at the MARTA line in Atlanta. And yeah, the scooter is great because, it's compact. You can fold it up. You can bring it on the metro or your public transportation system, even during rush hour, because it doesn't take up nearly as much space as a normal bicycle. And so, when you fold it up and you put it right there on the floor, right next to your legs, it's out of everyone's way. And it's a great way to get to and from those kind of rail stations that people use in order to really broaden the range of where you can get to on those things. The scooter I have has about a 20-mile range when you purchase it new. Of course, batteries degrade a little over time. So these days I'm getting about 15 to 20 miles on a charge, but that's more than enough for me to commute from my house in DC to the office back when we used to commute to the office. And I'm looking forward to doing that commute again. There's a great trail system that connects my house to the office. So I can go 3 miles down that trail, fold up the scooter, bring it up to my desk at the office, charge it at my desk, and then scoot around downtown DC whenever I need to go to a meeting or any sort of appointment. It's honestly the fastest way to get around town. And kick scooters are great too. And the best thing about this is you can also use it as a kick scooter when you're running low on battery. So, you're able to coast downhill. You're able to make it that last mile home or to the metro. And if it's pouring rain, I'm riding around normally in DC wearing a suit and a tie. So if I have to catch a bus or flag a cab or get a rideshare, It's really easy to fold it up and put it in the trunk. So I love bikes. I love electric bikes, but the scooter really fills a niche that I think really appeals to a lot of people who have to do that commuting lifestyle, particularly on a hot day or a rainy day wearing office attire.
Yes.
You know, I can't tell you how many times I've thought about your scooter and wished passionately that this had existed in 2005 when I lived in DC, because how many times did I have to go to the White House in a suit and I'm like running in my, high heels to try and get there on time. And yeah, I really needed one of these.
And it's just it's really practical, and it's just a lot of fun to get around town. It puts a smile on your face whenever you step on board. I also kicked around the idea of maybe getting an electric skateboard, but to be quite honest, I'm getting a little too old to bounce back from injuries that come from riding the skateboard. So the scooter is a really fun, easy way to get around. And Warren, I got to say, the electric bus music video idea is great, but I think it'd be a lot of fun to get you and a bunch of kids scooting around town in the scooter gang all together. I think I can just see it.
I just told Steph, so me and my nephews, my brothers, like we all have a new love for these scooters around town. And every time they come in town, they're like, let's go to the scooters and take a ride and we film ourselves. So that's definitely in my plan.
It's a lot of fun, Warren, definitely.
I have 2 questions. I don't know if we have time, but.
Sure.
Why not?
Okay, so one question I have is it possible to overcharge it? And second one is
yeah, go on.
No, well, safety. So when you get a bike, you lock it up when you go inside the store. How do you lock up scooters?
Sure. Well, first one, you can see the charger that I have that's sitting in that picture on the left, right next to the scooter. And it's really light and easy. I just throw it in my bag and I'm able to charge it at my desk. And luckily the charger's smart enough where it throttles the charge and it doesn't overcharge the battery. So it helps maintain the life of the battery. And then, I'm sorry, was your second question on safety? I couldn't quite hear that.
Well, when you lock up your bike, when you go inside the grocery store.
Yeah, no. So also you can see on that left picture, there's a handlebar right there. That's perfect for a U-lock. So sometimes I'll just lock it up if I feel like it's a safe enough area where no one's going to mess with it. But 90% of the time it folds up and I can carry it with that handle like a suitcase. And so most places I've seen and been to have been pretty friendly with me just bringing it in. And, to be honest, I've also zoomed around the halls of Congress on that thing too. And I've gotten some elected officials to hop on board. So they've had some fun with it too. It's definitely a way to practice what you preach when you're talking about electric vehicles, particularly around Washington, D.C.
Dude, they could use it to get to the Capitol to vote.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, definitely.
And then, Will, I know that you were talking about mopeds too. So real quick, tell me about you ride a moped too, or is this your moped?
Sure.
Or?
Yeah. The moped on the left is my moped. That one, it has a top speed of around 35 miles an hour. And it has a range about 30 miles, and you can ride with 2 people on that thing, which is a lot of fun. And it's also got pedals, so it's technically an electric bike. So you can pedal. If you need to pedal, you can. It's a bit of a chore pedaling that heavy thing, but if you absolutely needed to, you could. And then the picture on the right I shared because I'm also a member of different kinds of moped shares. This one in particular is one that they had when I was in Mexico City. I saw that there. But there are 2 actually now in DC. Revel and Lime also has moped shares too. And those are great because if you're riding around and you want to get around town real quick, really easy in a fun way, especially with 2 people and you don't need a car, it's definitely a recommended way to get around and also worth considering for a music video, Warren.
Hey, I'm into it already. I was actually into some of these.
That's so funny that you point that out, Will, that this was in Mexico City. I was wondering why Y Conduce and Muévete Sin Complicaciones was on the wall. So now I understand.
Yeah. No, whenever I go to a different town and they happen to have a local electric scooter or a moped share, I'm a little bit of a micro mobility fan, so I try out anything that I can whenever I'm there.
Well, thank you, Will. Any other last thoughts you want to share with people about scooters or mopeds?
Yeah, just that, electric vehicles are more than just cars, more than just trucks, and we want electric vehicles to include those things. But be creative, try and figure out a way to find a way to solve your transportation needs with maybe even something a little bit smaller that's a whole lot of fun to get around town.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Did you learn something today, Warren?
I did, actually. I'm actually learning too that, your worries about making that transformation, it goes away once you take that chance, like fast. Like what was the lady? She said she was like 2 years in, right, and she's already just loving it and prefers it now. And it's like 2 years. That's not a long time, It's other things that take way longer to get comfortable with the adjustments. So I think I'm like right there. I'm ready to make that jump.
I am with you. I am fingers crossed my next vehicle is going to be electric. Well, folks, we've taken up some of your time today, and we're so excited that you were able to join us to learn about electric vehicles that aren't cars, at least single family individual cars. We talked today about bikes and scooters and mopeds and ride sharing. So I hope you learned something. I hope you had a little bit of fun. We're going to sign out with another one of Warren's songs. Rhonda, I'm going to bring you back on.
Rhonda in here.
And who else is ready? Will, I'm going to put you back on.
Hey, Rhonda, I call those scooters the Tom Hanks scooters. Yeah.
All right, and we're gonna sign everybody out with a little bit more of Third Rock hip hop music. So thanks all for joining us, and see you later.
Go.
Everything we do, yeah, we connected, yeah. Love each other, make the world go round. From the birds that's flying to us walking on the ground. What I didn't know, I know it now. Everything we do, yeah, is connected. Love each other, make the world go round. From the birds that's flying to us walking on the ground. What I didn't know, I know it now. Yeah, I didn't know what I did on this shirt. Affected others, it can help, it can hurt. Wildlife is all around us, so diverse. They depend on us and love to make it work. Yeah, and they natural habitat, they flourish. It's gonna take a little bit of courage. We can coexist and it'll be beautiful. I'ma pass it on so that you can know. Everything we do, yeah, we're connected, yeah. Love each other, make the world go round. From the birds that's flying to us walking on the ground. What I didn't know, I know it now. Everything we do, yeah, is connected. Love each other, make the world go round. From the birds that's flying to us walking on the ground. What I didn't know, I know it now.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.